Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Advanced Bass Fishing, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to spend some time with me on the video. And guys, today we're going to be talking about why certain lures work at certain times of the year and they don't at other times of the year. This is sort of one of those deals that has always perplexed me in fishing. It's like you think that if bass would bite one lure at one time, they'd bite it all year, but that's not the case. I mean, a lot of the things I talk about here on the channel, we talk about how every month that the bass, their mood and their personalities and other variables that we may or may not understand determines the type and size and color of lure that the fish want. So today's video, I sort of want to go over that a little bit, give you guys sort of a good foundational piece of advice so you can start selecting your tackle better month by month. I'm also, guys, quick reminder, I don't know if you guys saw it, but we came out with a new color in my Blaukat Throwback jig. This is the black with blue tinsel, guys. This is my favorite color. The reason we didn't offer it earlier is it's super labor intensive to tie. Living rubber skirt, tinsel is hard to tie when you hand tie it like we do with my throwback jigs. But we're gonna try to get them in Tackle Warehouse. Right now you can get them on the Cumberland Pro Lures website. I'll put that link in the description. And you can also get all my other jigs at Tackle Warehouse, the other colors, if you wanna use that link in the description too. So Blaukat Throwback jig, black blue tinsel, absolutely a killer in the summer. Okay guys, let's see a little bit about this, what we're talking about. This is one of those things that makes bass fishing really interesting as far as, you know, not really knowing for sure what the deal is. I mean, there's a big mystery behind this, why, you know, they prefer different size lures at different times. Now, given that, let me first reiterate that a bass will hit any lure anytime, but there's certain lure categories and profiles and colors that they just bite better month by month. So what I sort of wanted to do is give you a real broad foundation as far as like a building block to select the right type of lure based upon the time of year. And for the most part, you can divide this up into water temperature. Water temperature, as it goes through the season, it's a really, really good barometer as far as a gauge to go by as far as selecting the right type of lure. So I want to give you guys a real broad generalization of the size and the color of lure that bass prefer month by month over any other thing. So let's just go like winter, spring, summer, and fall, just sort of hit it on the surface real quick. Now in the winter time, talking about water temperatures when they're at the coldest, usually from about late December into late February. And wherever you're fishing at, when the water temperature bottoms out, say your water temperature bottoms out at 42 degrees, the coldest point of the year, 5 degrees either side of that is sort of going to be the winter time. During the winter, when the fish are in this phase, bass like smaller baits. Smaller swim baits, like the 2 or 3 inch swim baits I do good on, downsized finesse type jerk baits. If I throw an Alabama rig, I'm using really small swim baits on it. That combination of that clear water and the cold water, you just simply get more bites on the smaller baits. Now the transition occurs once that water temperature starts to get about probably 5 to 10 degrees above its coldest point. So again, if your water temperature bottoms out around 42 degrees, once that water temperature hits around 50 degrees, there's going to be a change in the personality of the bass in terms of the lure color and size that they like. Also in winter, guys, along with the small size, they prefer a shad pattern. Usually some type of a translucent shad pattern lure will work better. In that pre-spawn phase, when that water temperature is, I like it between 50 and 60 degrees, this is the time of year, in my opinion, bass like the biggest baits. So I'll throw bigger jerk baits, I'll throw big spinner baits, I'll throw full-size chatter baits. My swim bait sizes are up, you know, quite a bit. Everything's bigger because a lot of times these fish are gorging, you know, trying to prepare for the spawn, so they're trying to get, you know, lots of calories in them. And a lot of the forage fish are the largest size during this time of year because they haven't spawned in a long time. So those are really good, you know, size. This is the time of year to use big baits. And also, there's 2 different type of colors I like to use in the pre-spawn. One is a crawdad pattern, usually some type of a orange, red, or green on the crawdad type baits. And again, the shad patterns will continue to work during that phase. Now, the spawn period, you know, you got the pre-spawn, the spawn, and the post-spawn. Now, once that water temperature starts to get around 60 degrees, you're going to find that the bass hit a little bit of everything. You know, they like finesse presentations, like a wacky rig. You can catch them on it. Little small downsized worms and tubes are good. But you can also catch them on bigger baits like swim baits and glide baits during that period too. So this is one of those times of year where they hit a little bit of everything. They'll hit shad patterns, crawdad patterns, perch patterns, big and small lures. Everything seems to work along that phase there. Now, when the post spawn comes along, when you start to get into May and that water temperature starts to get, like 65 to 75 degrees, I noticed a big transition to some type of a perch pattern. They really like a perch pattern. Shad can work pretty good too, depending upon your water clarity. And again, they start to gravitate to the little bit larger baits. So this is a time of year I like to use my bigger topwaters, like full-size buzz baits, a big walking topwater like a super spook can be pretty good. I catch a lot of fish on my larger swim baits and glide baits during the post spawn, like the 6 and 7 inch size. I like to flip a jig or a full-size creature bait like a brush hog. They just seems like they're feeding up. They've spawned, they're ready to get fattened up again, and they prefer a little bit larger lures. Now, in the summer goes along, you have the early summer, the midsummer, and the late summer. This large lure trend with the perch pattern trend continues through June. Big baits like a big deep diving crankbait, a full-size football head jig. Again, the big topwaters can work good, usually in some type of perch pattern. Works really good when those fish are beginning to move out a little bit deeper into their deeper water sanctuaries. There are still some shallow fish you can catch like on a larger swim jig or even topwater frogs, something like that. But you start noticing a change in July. Once those dog days of summer gets in, like July and August and early September, when you start going weeks without any cloud cover and it's hot, the water temperature's in the 80s, then there's a transition back to they like smaller lures. So during this time of year, I go to small crankbaits, like a small shad pattern crankbait, a little 1/4 ounce buzz bait with a small blade on it. If I'm flipping and pitching, I downsize. I go to a small creature bait or a little like a 4 or 5 inch plastic worm. Seems like you catch more fish on smaller stuff. Little popper is good too in the summertime, a little chugger like that. And this lasts up into about into September or until that water temperature starts to drop again into the 70s and the 60s. And then it's back to the cycle in the fall time of the year that they like larger lures. Back to the big glide bait, the big swim baits, the bigger spinner baits. Big square bill crankbaits can work good in the fall time of the year. And the cycle continues. So based upon the water temperature and the water clarity and all those variables, there's this continual ebb and flow that the fish prefer. Big lures, medium-sized lures, small lures, shad patterns, crawdad patterns, perch patterns. It's one of the complexities of bass fishing that makes it really fascinating, that this is constantly changing. And the thing about it, what I just told you guys is a good baseline to go by, but it's not like it's in stone, because every single year something's different. Say the lake that you're fishing in 2025, you may have a certain water clarity and a certain water level. And 2 years from now, at the same time of year, the water level may be higher or lower, and the water clarity may be different. And those changes make a big difference as far as the lure profile and color with that. So anyway, guys, hope it helps you out, and we'll check in later. See you.